What's up everybody, this is Master EN Gamer. If you're watching this video, then you're probably like the rest of us and you're wondering, where the heck is Overwatch's 2020 Winter Wonderland event? So in this short video, I just wanted to give my thoughts about why we haven't seen the new event just yet, when we can most likely expect it to actually start, and then maybe dispel some of the myths surrounding the idea of the event having been delayed. So let's jump right on in. Now, when it comes to the start date for the 2020 Winter Wonderland event, most people were expecting the event to start this past Tuesday, December 8th. Previously, we've seen the Overwatch winter event always start on the second Tuesday of December, and December 8th was the second Tuesday of December this year, so that seemed like a likely start date for it to happen. But for those of you who saw my 2020 winter event predictions video, I actually speculated it was going to be starting December 10th, which is today, the day I'm posting this video, due to how the days line up with the event ending just past New Year's, since the event runs 3 weeks, and if they would have started the event on the 8th this year, then they would have had to extend the event by at least 3 days in order to have it stretch into January, whereas if they had just pushed it back to starting on Thursday, December 10th, then they would have only had to extend it by 1 day, which would have just worked out better all around. But lo and behold, here we are on December 10th, and nothing has yet to be announced about it. We've seen no teasers, there's been no background update indicating that the event's going to be starting, so where the heck is the event? Well, the good news is that the winter event definitely isn't cancelled. One of the Overwatch community managers posted on the Overwatch forums that Winter Wonderland is apparently just around the corner, so we do know for a fact that there is going to be an event this year. They just decided to push it back for some reason, and so far haven't teased it, despite it presumably being pretty soon. If I had to hazard a guess at this point, I'd say it's most likely going to be starting this next Tuesday, December 15th, because if they had it start any later than that, it would practically already be Christmas, and I feel like even the 15th is pretty late for them to be starting a winter-themed event, but that just looks like what they decided to do this time around. And I guess the big question is, why? Well, the big reason I've seen a lot of people talking about has to do with the other big game, which just so happened to be launching today, Cyberpunk 2077. This game is quite possibly going to be the game of the decade, assuming it lives up to the hype which has been built around it, and it would make sense for Blizzard to not want to launch their winter event on the same day that Cyberpunk released because, well, everybody's going to be busy playing Cyberpunk. Whether it's individual players or major streamers and influencers who are good for publicity for the Overwatch event, everybody's going to be talking about and playing Cyberpunk, so nobody would care about Overwatch, more or less. And while I do think this is a valid reason for Blizzard to have wanted to push the winter event start date to a different day, I don't think that's actually the reason we're seeing the schedule being different this year. You see, before October 27th, Cyberpunk was originally planned to release on November 19th. Less than a month before that date, they decided to push back the release to fix more bugs and stuff, and if you follow Cyberpunk, you know that isn't the first time the game got pushed back. It's been pushed back quite a lot over the years. But the main point I want to make is that Blizzard wouldn't have been able to know that Cyberpunk was going to be coming out on December 10th until October 27th, which is only about a month and a half prior to when December 10th is. And based on what we know about Blizzard and the way they schedule their content and events very far ahead of time, the start date for the 2020 Winter Wonderland event almost certainly would have been set in stone well before Cyberpunk was ever scheduled to release on that day. Now, technically, it is possible that Blizzard would have just last minute sort of changed the event dates in order to work around Cyberpunk, but in all honesty, I just don't think that's super likely. Sure, they would be competing with one of the biggest games of the decade, potentially, but moving the event dates would force Blizzard to have to remake all the marketing material that's going to surround the event. Even if there don't end up being any teasers for the event, things like the event video they're going to post on the Overwatch YouTube channel or the details uploaded to the website, all of those would likely have been done before Cyberpunk got delayed, and therefore Blizzard would have to update and put in a bunch of more effort to change all those things if they decided to last minute change the dates of the event. So again, sure, it's possible that Blizzard ended up doing that for the winter event and changing the dates, but it just seems very unlikely because of the amount of work that would end up amounting to, and we know that Blizzard is already very overloaded on work at the moment with Overwatch 2 coming up. So I think they would have just bit the bullet and released the event on December 10th if that had been when they were originally planning to do it. So if not for Cyberpunk, then why is the event going to be starting so much later in December than what we've usually seen? Well, honestly, the only other reason I can really think for them doing this is just to space out the content we get over the months, basically, leading up to February, when we're gonna get BlizzCon and presumably more information about Overwatch 2. For those of you who are still actually interested in Overwatch, I'm sure you've noticed that there hasn't been a whole ton of content over the past year or so. So depending on how much content Blizzard actually has in store for us over the course of December and January going into February, they might have decided to just bump back the winter event a week in order to better space out the content we are getting. Now, of course, we won't really be able to determine this for sure until we see whatever content ends up following the winter event. It's still possible we'll end up getting a mini event or a hero challenge of some sort in January, and aside from that, we're likely going to be getting the Lunar New Year event starting sometime in late January. So depending on just what all content they have planned, maybe that's the reason they ended up delaying the winter event this year. This isn't something we know for sure, this is just my own speculation and thoughts regarding why we haven't seen or heard anything about the event, despite us being past where we typically see it start at this point. So hopefully, if nothing else, this video has just given a bit of context for the situation at hand, maybe given you a bit more hope in knowing that the winter event definitely isn't canceled, because there's no way Blizzard would just outright cancel the event. Even if they didn't have new skins or game modes at all to introduce, they would still just bring back the event so people can play the old modes and get the old skins. I do still think we're going to be getting new skins for the record, though, don't worry about that. If you haven't seen my other videos talking about that, I'll have them linked in the cards on screen. Definitely we're going to be getting some new skins. But otherwise, hopefully this gave you a bit of hope and insight into what we can expect, and I guess we can just look forward to the event starting a bit later than we were expecting, but still sometime relatively soon. So, in the meantime, after I finish making this video, I, for one, am going to be playing Cyberpunk, so maybe you will too, and if not, then I'm sure you have something else to occupy your time leading up to the 2020 winter event, which is most likely going to be starting next Tuesday. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit up that bell icon to never miss any of my future Overwatch content. And if you'd like to support my channel and videos, then be sure to hit that join button down below to become a channel member and earn some cool rewards. But otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day. Alright, now time to play some Cyberpunk. Woohoo!